Meteorologist Brad Spackwood's back. I just want to recap this because we have a lot going on very suddenly here in northeastern Wisconsin. First of all of the bright yellow areas you see, and that is much of the most densely populated portion of east central Wisconsin under severe thunderstorm warnings from southern Oconto County, just about all of Brown County, the western half of Manitowoc County, Calumet County, all of Outagamie County, southeastern Shawano County, a sliver of Waupaca County there, much of Winnebago County and Fond du Lac County. And now we have a new tornado warning. This is a tornado warning that has just been issued by the National Weather Service, and we're getting the information right now. This is a tornado warning for, it looks like, at least most of Brown County, a sliver of western Kewaunee County. Okay, and it's right along this leading edge here of this line of thunderstorms. So, and give us a moment here. We're pausing as the information is coming in.
But the radar is detecting some strong rotation, and what we had earlier today with that rotation, there was a funnel cloud that was officially reported. So that's why we're definitely erring on the side of caution here with the tornado.
Momentarily into Pulaski, Croco at 401, South Chase at 404, Chase at 405, Sampson 405
County. So we're going to head over to Jason. He's at High Cliff State Park. Want to get a live report from him on what he's seeing out there. Jason.
And Patrick, things have died down here quite a bit over the last 30 minutes. If you look, you can see out here, this is the shore of Lake Winnebago, looking off from High Cliff State Park. You can see quite a few whitecaps out there. Those whitecaps were even higher just 20 minutes ago or so.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Bill is off tonight. This is what we are dealing with tonight. Severe weather that brought funnel clouds in a couple of places. Colin Hurt took this picture along Highway 29 just outside of Shawano. Severe weather continues to roll through northeast Wisconsin tonight.
And we have multiple news crews out in the field tracking those storms and, of course, the top forecasting technology live from Storm Center 2. So let's get right to Chief Meteorologist George Graffis to walk us through what's happening on the radar. George.
Well, let's start with that then, and we'll begin with Pinpoint Digital Doppler. You can see a north to south line of thunderstorms, which at the present time reaches right along the lakeshore, doesn't it? And it's moving off to the northeast. So for those of you in Sheboygan and Manitowoc, and much of it is now just right along the lakeshore in Kewaunee County and into southern portions of Brown County.
Jeff and Cammie, right now I'm off Packerland Drive, and like you said, we can hear thunder outside right now. We just saw some lightning, but here is a home where a tree, you can see a red oak tree, has crashed into the roof of the home here. The Green Bay Metro Fire Department left just minutes ago, but they were inside working to secure the area. I was allowed just inside the door there, and even from the front door, I could see that the tree had crashed into the roof and into the ceiling, causing a giant hole in the ceiling. I could see insulation, I could see exposed wires, and that's why, as they were working to secure the area, the Green Bay Metro Fire Department actually turned off the power to make sure everyone was safe. Now, there was one woman who was home at the time of the crash. She was safe and was working with the fire department to make sure that the area is secure, and any of her belongings she was able to salvage. When I asked them how much damage this may have caused, they said anywhere between $75,000 and $100,000.
Hi, we are eastbound on 22, just outside of Cecil right now, and the reason we're kind of out here, we're trying to get to Pulaski, but we've been forced to turn around at least 3 or 4 times because of flooding on the roadways. There's a lot of flooding. The rain has kind of let up, but it's been raining constant for at least the past hour and a half up here.
Jeff, quite a bit of damage in this area. I'm standing at the corner of Warehouse Road and Radio Drive, and right behind me, let's take a look at what some of the damage that you can see. This is the Apvion building right behind me, a big warehouse, and you can see the roof. Portions of this roof have been blown off completely. There is a semi right here in the parking lot that has been tipped over from the winds that came through here. You look over there, you can see the stop sign down with the street marker as well. This building all the way down has damage, and it is a long building. If we look, I can tell you down here on the end, the entire side of the building has been blown off. Plus, if we take a look over here, this is the Theta Care facility, and there's a heater that was on top of the building that's now in the parking lot. If we can see past these cars here in front of me as well. Lots of debris on the ground. If we go over here, Don, you can see the ground just littered with debris that's been blown off of buildings, trees, trash. Obviously, a major cleanup is taking place right now as people are just starting to come out and look at the damage. I have with me, who just arrived on the scene, County Executive Tom Nelson, and you've been out kind of making the rounds, Tom. What are you seeing?
Well, this is one of our first stops. I mean, you know, we're seeing a lot of activity on Twitter and social media. That unfortunately structure behind us was hit pretty hard. I did have a chance to talk with an official at Avion. Fortunately, no one was hurt. You know, we're just asking people to be very careful as they come out from the storm, taking, you know, a close look at what's around and try to be as safe as possible, of course.
And Tom, are there other areas of the county that have suffered damage as well that you're aware of?
Well, we had heard, you know, initial reports that there could have been up to about 30,000 people without power. We also get information that there was some pretty big hits north of the county, close, I mean, more into Shawano County. So,
like crazy dark skies out there, and some of the airport and TSA personnel came in, told everyone to please back away from the windows for obvious reasons, and then directed everyone downstairs to a sheltered area, some narrow hallways where everyone could kind of hang out there for about a half an hour until the warning expired.
Sierra Gillespie joins us now live from Green Bay's Austin Straubel International Airport, which was hit hard tonight. Sierra.
Jeff and Cammie, right now outside the airport, it's barely sprinkling, but just a half hour ago on our drive-in, it was pouring down rain. We were hearing lots of thunder, seeing some lightning, but that's not all we've seen. If you look behind me here, right outside the Executive Air hangar, you can see that the ceiling was actually peeled right off the top of the hangar and is now on some of the cars out there. I spoke with the Executive Air manager just a couple of minutes ago, and he told me thankfully nobody was injured. Right now their power is out inside of the hangar, but he does say that they're working to figure out a way to take the debris off the cars there, because look at that damage back here. But that isn't all that we're seeing here. If you take a look here, we've got giant amounts of insulation all across the airport. We've seen it in the parking lot, we've seen it in fences, and that's how strong the wind was blowing, just to rip the insulation right off the hangar behind me here.
Quite a bit of damage at this location where I'm standing right now on Warehouse Road and Radio Drive. Take a look behind me. This is a semi that was blown over in this storm. You can see it's attached to a tow truck right now as crews attempt to right it back up. Right behind that semi-trailer is the Avion warehouse, and you can see that portions of the roof were blown off in this storm, and you can't see it from here. But if we go further down, this warehouse is huge. It stretches all the way down the block, and the far end of the warehouse, the entire side of it was blown off in this storm. If we move around a little bit more, you can see quite a few people out here just kind of surveying the damage. And if we walk back here, there's a few other things you might want to take a look at. The ThedaCare building over here also suffered some damage, and you can see where some crews are working over here. I can tell you that back there, somewhere back there, which is being blocked now by these trucks, is a heater that blew right off of that building into the back parking lot. And then over here, this is what we're seeing all over the city right now, just debris scattered all across the grass here. You can see trash, you can see tree limbs, you can see a bench that was blown over right over there closer to the building. Just lots of cleanup, and even over here you can see where police still have some of these roads blocked off as they're diverting people away from this damage.
It's a little bit lighter out as well, but not before doing quite a bit of damage to this farmland here on Main Laney Drive here in Pulaski. As you can see, the shed is completely destroyed. It was completely leveled by that severe weather. I can see that there's hay inside, some machinery. The owners tell me that this is at least 40 years old.
Here are some of the area storm reports, and the real attention grabber here is all of these little landmarks with the little tree. Those are all wind damage reports, so a lot of wind damage. And I did want to highlight also the tornado reports, because we did have a report of tornado there. That is in southeastern Green Lake County near Markesan. Also, for those of you in Menominee County, north of Shawano, there near Gresham and Kashina, tornado reports there.
And this yellow circle right here, that is what Viper detected as rotation, or the tornado. And this black circle here is detected debris from that likely tornado. Brittany Schmidt has been out in Pulaski all evening, finding incredible damage in that area. What do you have, Brittany?
Yeah, Jeff, we have tried to canvass the area the best we could as soon as the severe weather kind of moved out of the way. And this is just one of the many buildings destroyed here in Pulaski today.
Phone was going off and everything, but
Kathy Libke knew severe weather was headed her way in Pulaski,
I've never seen rain come so hard.
but she never expected to see her shed completely leveled.
And it was funny because I looked out the window, my gas grill was down, and I was so concerned about that, and then I looked further and the shed was gone. So
The shed houses farming equipment for their small dairy farm, and she's hoping not all is destroyed.
This is the Appion warehouse right behind me, and as you can see, an entire wall is missing tonight. Portions of the roof have also been ripped off. In fact, the storm left almost nothing untouched in the immediate vicinity. As fast as the storm clouds moved in, the winds picked up, and at the corner of Radio Drive and Warehouse Road, the Appion warehouse was the biggest target of Mother Nature.
There were approximately 6 or 7 people that are normally staffing the facility. Again, they are all accounted for. They are all safe, no injuries.
Besides damaging the roof and taking down a wall, the storm also flipped over a semi-truck in the warehouse parking lot.
It's nerve-wracking knowing that all this happened in this little area, and you go 1 block away and all we have is trees.
Here's a look at some heavy flooding on the south side of Fond du Lac. This video was sent to us by a viewer. Strong winds also ripped down a number of trees in the Fox Valley, including on the UW Oshkosh campus.
Power lines were keeping crews busy all evening, including in De Pere. This is what fire crews in De Pere saw during one of their 7 calls in less than half an hour this evening. The City of De Pere Fire Department posted this video on its Facebook page showing the lines sparking and falling down. No major injuries were reported. Strong winds sent trees into houses and ripped the roof off a hangar at Austin Straubel Airport. Sierra Gillespie continues our team coverage tonight with that damage.
Tonight, Green Bay saw it all.
Lights down in a number of different places, power outages all over the place, and a lot of branches and everything laying on the road.
At Austin Straubel Airport, the roof peeled off the executive air hangar and flung onto nearby vehicles. Strong winds blowing pieces of insulation across the parking lot, some even stuck inside airport fences. Nearby on Green Bay's west side, a giant oak tree falls on top of a resident's home, cracking through the roof, creating a hole in the ceiling. The Green Bay Metro Fire Department responded to the crash, where they estimated damage to be between $75,000 and $100,000. Across the entire area, down stoplights like this one, holding up traffic in rush hour. Officials say all down poles likely won't be up and running again until this weekend. But across the entire area, no reports of injuries. Reporting in Green Bay, Sierra Gillespie, Action 2 News.
When we were driving into Pulaski this morning, we saw a lot of tree branches and leaves and things like that littering the roads. We also saw a couple of trees that were uprooted, like this one here behind me. This one is probably the biggest and most serious because take a look. It took 3 entire pieces of the cement clean out of the ground with it. You can see just how big these pieces of concrete are. And if you take a look over there, you can see it rip the roots clean out of the ground, still connected to the lawn here. So that gives you an idea of just how powerful the winds must have been here last night. Now, Action 2 News crews also got a close-up look at damaged farms in the Pulaski area. At one, roofs were torn off, silos dented, and a building just wiped away, causing 65 heifers to escape during the storm. At yet another farm, a shed was completely leveled.
Kyler Krause shared this drone video from the town of Angelica, just west of Pulaski, showing the damage from one of those tornadoes. A trained storm spotter reported 64-mile-per-hour winds in Pulaski yesterday at 4 p.m. National Weather Service crews are surveying the damage in that city.
Yesterday morning, this trampoline was in Dustin Demro's neighbor's backyard. Now it's in his front yard.
Well, it was parked right here and it made it to the end of the road. It's 150, 200 feet probably. Every car that drives by has to stop and take a video or a picture of it.
Demro's backyard is even worse, with the fence and trees pulled right out of the ground.
Cammie and Bill, behind me used to be a car wash here in Kimberly. As you can see, it sustained a lot of damage, so much so that here is part of the roof from that car wash. But what's most shocking about the damage out here is that the rest of the roof landed on top of this home. But if there is a silver lining with all the damage across our area from yesterday, it's that no major injuries were reported reported. Now, the damage in Kimberly and throughout Appleton is extensive, as the National Weather Service determined an EF1 tornado with winds up to 95 miles an hour did touch down in several areas of the Fox Valley.
We had a line of thunderstorms move through with these squall line tornadoes, these brief spin-ups that don't happen very frequently.
You can see right there, right where the tracks are, where the tornadoes touch down, you can see the rotating storm passing right through that area. And then, Travis, can you take me full screen? I want to show you one other thing. This is one of those things in hindsight. Down over here, the Morrison tornado in southeastern Brown County, there's the inflow notch on that one. And notice how hard that is to spot. That's why not all of these were warned as tornadoes. When the event is unfolding, sometimes they're so brief, tough to spot them. That's the problem.